Ever felt like life is constantly throwing you off balance? The ups, the downs, the constant emotional roller coaster, it's enough to break anyone. But what if I told you that there's a way to stop being controlled by your emotions and start mastering them instead? Imagine a life where you remain calm, composed, and unshaken no matter what happens. In today's video, I'm going to share 10 powerful habits that will make you emotionally strong. Habits rooted in Stoicism and dark psychology that will transform how you react to the world. If you're ready to stop being a victim of your emotions and start controlling them, hit that like button and subscribe to Stoic Techniques, where we teach you how to live your best, most empowered life. And don't forget to turn on those notifications so you never miss another powerful video. Now, let's dive into the first habit. Number 1, master the art of emotional detachment. Emotional strength starts with detachment, the ability to remain calm and focused no matter what's happening around you. This isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about realizing that external events don't control you. Your reaction to them does. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, taught us that the key to peace of mind is to accept that we can't control everything. We can't control other people's actions, the weather, or the way life unfolds. But we can control how we respond. And that is where emotional strength is built. Think about it. How often do you let someone's comment or a sudden event throw you off balance? Maybe a rude remark at work, a traffic jam that makes you late, or a negative comment on social media. Your emotions are triggered, and suddenly you're spiraling into frustration or anger. But here's the truth. You are not your emotions. You are the one who decides how much weight those emotions carry. In dark psychology, this is referred to as emotional regulation, the ability to control your emotional responses by reframing the situation in your mind. The Stoics understood this principle well. They practiced apatheia, which is not indifference, but emotional freedom. It's the ability to experience emotions without being controlled by them. How can you begin to practice emotional detachment? The next time something triggers you, whether it's a comment, a delay, or a setback, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this situation within my control? If not, why should I let it dictate how I feel? By choosing to detach from external events, you protect your peace of mind and your emotional strength. The more you practice this, the stronger you'll become emotionally. And trust me, this simple habit will give you a superpower, the power to remain unshaken. If you're ready to become emotionally unshaken, comment below saying, I am unshaken. Hit that like button and let's move on to habit number 2. Number 2, control your self-talk. Here's a secret. The voice in your head is the most powerful force shaping your emotional state. It tells you who you are, what you're capable of, and how you should feel. But here's the catch. You are in control of that voice. The more you master it, the more emotionally resilient you become. Self-talk is the constant dialogue that runs in the background of our minds. It can be empowering or debilitating. When you face a challenge, what does your mind say? I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'm going to fail. These thoughts don't just pop up out of nowhere. They're based on how you've conditioned your mind over the years. The question is, how do you want to condition it moving forward? In Stoicism, the concept of self-control over one's mind is at the heart of emotional resilience. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. The Stoics knew that if you can control your thoughts, you can control your emotional responses. Instead of allowing external circumstances to dictate your feelings, you take charge of your internal dialogue. But here's the dark psychology twist. You can actively reframe your self-talk. That's right. When you feel self-doubt or fear creeping in, you don't have to let it spiral. Instead, challenge your inner critic with questions like, what's the evidence for this thought? Is it true? What if the opposite were true? This is where cognitive reframing comes in, a technique from dark psychology that allows you to change the way you view situations and, in turn, change your emotional response. For example, let's say you're about to speak in front of a crowd. Your self-talk might say, "I'm going to mess up," or "I'm not good enough to be up here." Instead of letting those thoughts control you, reframe them. Tell yourself, "I've prepared for this. Even if I make a mistake, it's just a learning experience." Or, "I am confident in my ability to communicate and I have something valuable to share." By changing the narrative in your mind, you shift your emotional state from fear to calm assurance. Here's the kicker. Negative self-talk is a habit. If you consistently feed yourself limiting beliefs, they become your truth. But by practicing reframing, you retrain your mind to view challenges as opportunities and to respond with confidence rather than anxiety. So, what can you do today to start mastering your self-talk? The next time you feel doubt creeping in, notice the thought and pause. Challenge it. Reframe it. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," try telling yourself, "I can learn from this experience and grow." If you're ready to take control of your mind and your emotions, leave a comment below saying, "I am the master of my thoughts." Don't forget to hit the like button, and let's keep moving with habit number 3. Number 3, practice self-awareness. How often do you stop and truly check in with yourself? Not just the surface-level thoughts, but the deep ones. Your emotional triggers, your beliefs, your patterns. The power of self-awareness is one of the most overlooked tools when it comes to emotional strength. If you don't know yourself, how can you possibly control your emotions? In the world of Stoicism, self-awareness is seen as the first step toward emotional mastery. The Stoic philosophers, especially Epictetus, taught that in order to find peace, we must first know what is within our control and what is not. And the only way to truly understand this is through self-reflection. Think about it. How many times do you find yourself reacting to a situation without thinking? Maybe someone says something that hurts your feelings and you lash out, or you get frustrated with a setback and let it ruin your whole day. These automatic reactions are a direct result of not being fully aware of what's happening inside you. But what if you could take a step back before you react? What if you could recognize the emotions rising up inside of you and choose how to respond rather than being controlled by them? This is where self-awareness becomes a game changer. When you are aware of your emotional triggers, whether it's a certain person, situation, or even a specific thought, you gain the power to decide how to respond instead of being pulled into a reaction. The Stoics were masters of this. They understood that by examining their thoughts and feelings, they could detach from them and choose a rational, calm response. In dark psychology, the ability to self-reflect and understand your emotional landscape is also crucial. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is one of the most powerful forms of control you can have. When you understand your triggers and thought patterns, you can manipulate your emotional response to serve you, rather than letting them manipulate you. This is how you stay unbothered when others try to push your buttons. But how do you begin to cultivate this self-awareness? A simple but powerful practice is journaling. Every day, take 10-15 minutes to reflect on your emotions. Ask yourself questions like, what made me feel upset today? Why did I feel that way? How did I react, and how could I have responded differently? By writing down your thoughts, you create a dialogue with yourself that brings your emotions into the light. This helps you see patterns in your behavior that you might otherwise ignore. The more you practice this, the more self-aware you become, and the easier it is to stay calm and controlled in emotionally charged situations. Another powerful tool is meditation, a practice that allows you to sit with your thoughts and emotions, observing them without judgment. This helps you separate from your emotions, giving you the space to choose how to respond. The more you practice meditation and reflection, the clearer your emotional landscape becomes and the less likely you are to be controlled by your impulses. If you're ready to start practicing self-awareness and take control of your emotions, comment below saying, "I see myself clearly." And don't forget to hit that like button as we move on to the next habit. Number 4, embrace discomfort. Emotional strength is not forged in comfort, it's made through discomfort. The truth is simple. Growth happens when you push yourself beyond what's easy. And while most people try to avoid discomfort, the Stoics understood something powerful. Adversity builds strength. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the obstacle becomes the opportunity. The pain, the struggle, and the challenges you face aren't just roadblocks. They're tools that can shape you into a stronger person. This concept is central to both Stoicism and dark psychology. If you only seek comfort, you'll never grow. The moment you face a difficult situation and push through, you develop resilience. Whether it's enduring a tough workout, having a difficult conversation, or tackling an uncomfortable challenge at work, you're building mental and emotional strength. Dark psychology teaches us that avoiding discomfort is one of the fastest ways to remain weak and reactive. Instead, embracing discomfort becomes your weapon. By choosing to face the things that scare you, challenge you, or push you to your limits, you increase your emotional capacity to handle life's inevitable challenges. How can you start today? Find one thing that makes you uncomfortable, whether it's starting a difficult task, facing a fear, or pushing your limits physically. The more you lean into discomfort, the stronger and more resilient you'll become. Over time, the challenges that once felt impossible will become your stepping stones toward greatness. Ready to embrace discomfort and grow stronger? Comment below saying, "I grow through discomfort." Hit like, and let's keep going with the next habit. Number 5, cultivate patience and delay gratification. In a world that's constantly speeding up, instant downloads, quick fixes, and immediate gratification, it's easy to forget the power of patience. But emotional strength isn't about reacting impulsively. It's about being able to delay gratification and endure the process, even when the reward seems far off. The Stoics taught that self-control and patience are key to mastering your emotions. Marcus Aurelius himself reflected, "Patience is the companion of wisdom." In essence, patience gives you the mental clarity to act wisely, rather than rushing into decisions driven by fleeting emotions. Dark psychology also teaches us that our impulses, if unchecked, can hijack our emotional state. The desire for immediate pleasure, whether it's checking your phone or indulging in quick emotional fixes, drains your energy and disrupts your emotional balance. The more you give into these urges, the weaker you become. Delayed gratification, on the other hand, strengthens your emotional resilience. When you can put off short-term pleasures for long-term benefits, you become more mentally and emotionally disciplined. Whether it's saving money, working toward a long-term goal, or simply learning to sit with discomfort without acting on it, you're building a mental fortress that will withstand whatever life throws at you. Here's how you can practice. Next time you feel the urge to check your phone, eat something unhealthy, or react to someone's comment, pause. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that the moment of gratification is temporary, but the strength you build from choosing patience is long-lasting. Start today by practicing small acts of delayed gratification, whether it's choosing to wait before responding in anger or saving a little extra money. Cultivating patience will transform your emotional strength. Ready to build patience and delay gratification? Comment below saying, "Patience is my power." Hit like, and let's keep going. Number 6, set boundaries. Emotional strength isn't just about controlling your reactions. it's also about protecting your emotional energy. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by setting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are lines you draw in your life to safeguard your peace and emotional well-being. In Stoic philosophy, personal boundaries are a crucial aspect of maintaining tranquility. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, reminded us that we cannot control what others do, but we can control how much we allow them to affect us. This is the essence of setting boundaries, not controlling others, but controlling how much influence you let them have on your emotions. Dark psychology also emphasizes the importance of boundaries in maintaining mental power. Without boundaries, we allow ourselves to be manipulated, drained, and emotionally hijacked by others. Whether it's a toxic relationship, an overbearing boss, or a friend who constantly drains your energy, people will take from you if you let them. But when you draw a clear line, saying no when needed, taking time for yourself, or standing up for what you need, you protect your emotional stability. Setting boundaries requires clarity and courage. It's not about being rude or dismissive. It's about recognizing your own worth and protecting it. You don't have to say yes to everything or everyone, and you don't have to apologize for taking care of yourself. The first step in setting boundaries is recognizing when your energy is being drained. Do you feel tired, anxious, or resentful after spending time with certain people or situations? That's your emotional signal that boundaries are needed. Once you recognize this, take action. Politely but firmly say no, or create space between yourself and the source of emotional drain. Start small today. Set a boundary with someone or something that's been draining you, whether it's limiting screen time, saying no to unnecessary commitments, or taking more time for yourself. You'll notice how quickly your emotional strength grows. Ready to take control and set boundaries? Comment below saying, "I protect my peace." Hit like, and let's move forward with the next habit. Number 7, develop emotional detachment. Emotional detachment is a powerful skill that helps you maintain control over your emotions, no matter what life throws at you. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about learning to observe your emotions instead of being consumed by them. The Stoics, like Epictetus, taught that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but how we react to them. Emotional detachment allows you to create space between what happens and how you respond. You realize that someone's harsh words or an unexpected setback don't need to control your inner peace. In dark psychology, emotional detachment is crucial to prevent others from manipulating you emotionally. When you can detach, you avoid falling into reactive patterns. Instead of feeling anger or anxiety, you become an observer, understanding that your emotions don't define your actions. How do you practice detachment? Start by observing your emotions when they arise. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Then choose how to respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. The more you practice this, the stronger you'll become. Begin with small, everyday situations, like when someone cuts you off in traffic or says something that frustrates you. By consistently practicing emotional detachment, you'll develop an inner calm that won't be easily shaken. Ready to master emotional detachment? Comment below with, "I control my emotions." Hit like, and let's move forward to the next habit. Number 8, focus on what you can control. When life gets chaotic, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But one of the most powerful habits you can develop to stay emotionally strong is to focus only on what you can control. The Stoics were experts in understanding the limits of their influence. Marcus Aurelius, for example, often reminded himself that the only thing we can truly control is our own actions and responses. Everything else, the opinions of others, the events that unfold, or the outcomes, are out of our hands. and trying to control them only leads to frustration and emotional turmoil. Dark psychology teaches us the same. When we focus on things beyond our control, we become vulnerable to stress, anxiety, and manipulation. The more you chase after things you can't change, the more you give away your emotional power. Instead, redirect your focus to the present moment and the things you can actively influence. This could be how you respond to a situation, how you manage your time, or how you treat others. By concentrating on what's within your control, you conserve emotional energy and protect your peace. Start today by identifying one thing in your life that you've been stressing over that's outside of your control. Whether it's the weather, someone else's actions, or a past event. Let it go. Then, channel that energy into something you can influence, like setting goals or improving your own behavior. If you're ready to focus on what you can control, comment below saying, "I control what I can." And don't forget to hit like as we move on to the next habit. Number 9, practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful habits for building emotional strength. It might sound simple, but practicing gratitude can drastically change your perspective and reframe your emotional landscape. The Stoics understood the value of gratitude. Seneca wrote, "A grateful mind is a great mind, which eventually attracts to itself great things." When you actively practice gratitude, you shift your focus from what's wrong or lacking in your life to what's already good. This shift is like an emotional reset that allows you to regain control over your reactions and your peace of mind. Gratitude is also deeply connected to emotional resilience. When life throws challenges your way, it's easy to get caught up in frustration or despair. But if you take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for, even in difficult situations, you begin to see those challenges as opportunities to grow, rather than as obstacles that break you down. Dark psychology shows us that people who lack gratitude are more susceptible to negative emotional manipulation. They may constantly seek validation or fixate on what they don't have. But when you practice gratitude, you build a strong emotional foundation that isn't shaken by external circumstances or the opinions of others. Start small by keeping a daily gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They can be big or small. Over time, this simple practice helps you build emotional strength because you start to see the abundance in your life rather than focusing on the scarcity. Ready to transform your mindset with gratitude? Comment below saying, "Gratitude strengthens me." Hit like, and let's continue with the next habit. Number 10, develop a growth mindset. One of the most powerful habits for emotional strength is adopting a growth mindset. The belief that challenges and failures are opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to avoid. This mindset is not just about facing life's challenges, but about transforming the way you perceive those challenges. The Stoics had a unique way of approaching adversity. They didn't see setbacks as failures, but as lessons, valuable experiences that could shape and strengthen their character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In essence, the obstacle is not your enemy, it's your teacher. The more you embrace challenges as learning opportunities, the more emotionally resilient you become. In dark psychology, one of the key principles is understanding how people with a fixed mindset are easily manipulated. Those who believe they are stuck or limited are often controlled by their fears, insecurities, and doubts. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset are less susceptible to emotional manipulation because they see every challenge as a stepping stone to personal evolution. They are constantly looking for ways to improve themselves, and that internal drive makes them emotionally stronger. How do you develop a growth mindset? First, start by shifting your perspective on failure. Instead of seeing failure as something to avoid or fear, view it as feedback, an opportunity to adjust, learn, and improve. The Stoics believed that failure is a natural part of life, and it should be welcomed as a valuable experience. When you encounter obstacles, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this experience? Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Shift to, what is this teaching me? Every setback, no matter how difficult, is a chance to strengthen your emotional resilience and improve your character. The second step to developing a growth mindset is embracing discomfort. Emotional strength grows when you push yourself to face challenges head-on without running from them. Whether it's a tough conversation, a difficult project, or an uncomfortable truth about yourself, lean into the discomfort and see it as an opportunity to evolve. The more you face discomfort with courage, the stronger your emotional fortitude becomes. The third step is to commit to lifelong learning. The more you educate yourself, whether through reading, self-reflection, or seeking mentorship, the more you evolve. A growth mindset thrives on self-improvement and adaptation. When you stop believing you have nothing more to learn, you stagnate emotionally. Keep learning, keep adapting, and watch your emotional strength grow. Here's where the real power of a growth mindset shines. It gives you control. When you adopt this mindset, you stop seeing the world as something that happens to you, and instead, you see yourself as someone who can shape your reality. You stop being a passive observer and become an active participant in your own growth. Want to take control of your emotional strength with a growth mindset? Comment below with, I am always growing. Don't forget to hit like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more powerful content.